Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In the video for today, since the market is down, we are going to go over risk management strategies and also dip buying strategies. We also will do a deep dive into my current positions and also just the market in general, but the main focus for today is to prepare you guys for obviously a lot of the risk that comes with buying and trading these meme coins. Before we jump into things for today, I did want to let you guys know though that I will start doing a weekly stream in the Discord channel or just on Twitch or another streaming platform where people can come and actually pitch tokens to the community, and I will obviously be vetting them and discussing them with you guys, so stay tuned for that. I'll talk about it more in the coming videos. And also, if you want to stay up to date with all the positions I'm buying and what I'm doing on a daily basis, hop in the Telegram channel. And lastly, before we get into things, nothing I'm saying in any of my videos is financial advice, so please make decisions based on your own financial situation. Okay, and with that out of the way, let's actually check out our wallet positions right now. If you guys didn't know, I started this wallet about 45 days ago with 1 Solana, and this is what we are currently at. If you guys have been paying attention to my channel for a while, you know that we are on a bit of a dip here. The markets have been pretty bad the past few days because a lot of FUD with some of the major cryptos. And in terms of some of the bigger changes that I've made the past few days, I have started to really add aggressively to ALR again, trying to get my tokens back up to about 400, 500K. We'll see if this continues to dip. But other than that, the other positions have taken a bit of a hit as well. And I did try to let my Telegram community know that things were going to get pretty ugly in the meme coin space because of these dips. But let's actually talk about why that is today and really break down what you can do to be prepared for that in the future. Okay, so now I want to do a general overview of how you guys should really be managing your portfolios, no matter what the actual size of it is. So let's just take a basic example and say that, you have 10 Solana in your wallet. And this is going to be applicable to whatever amount of Solana that you have. But generally speaking, in my opinion, you really should always try to keep a portion of your portfolio liquid in Solana or stable coins in case there is going to be a downturn in the markets, So at a minimum, I would recommend keeping at least 30%, but probably closer to 50% of your portfolio liquid in Solana or stable coins at any given point. And then you should feel pretty comfortable actively trading around 30% of your portfolio at any given time. But again, I would probably also keep that 20% ready to deploy in situations like what we're going through right now, where the market is, a little bit shaky and there isn't a ton of certainty going around. And the reason I say that is because if you guys have been watching my videos for the past few days, you know that I made a lot of money on this token a few days ago. I had taken aggressive profits, and I said in my previous videos that I wanted to keep at least 10 Solana liquid for the foreseeable future for the rest of this challenge, just because in case of a massive downturn like what we're experiencing right now, I can go ahead and add on to these positions lightly and really lower my average cost for each of these tokens and really just manage my portfolio a lot more effectively as to if I were actually trading all of these tokens with my entire portfolio value in Solana. And another thing that is worth mentioning is if I were skeptical on the overall crypto market in general, one thing that I could be doing is actually swapping a position of my Solana to a stable coin like USDC, for example. In case the actual price of Solana plummets a lot, I can then use this reserve in quote unquote cash to actually refill my positions if Solana also takes a pretty big dip. Because guys, there's no way of knowing for sure how long this bull market is going to last. Typically in the past, bull markets have lasted on average of around 750 to 850 days. And in this bull market, people are saying that we've probably been already through about 650 to 700. It's definitely up for debate. But the takeaway from that is to say that, we might be coming to the end of a bull market, especially in the meme coin cycle. So you always should be ready to, swap your positions accordingly if there is, some big developments that are going on in the market. So it is always smart to keep a portion of your portfolio in stable coins because again, Solana can drop just as much as some of these meme coins can drop, and it's happened in the past. So I'm not going to be one of these YouTubers who always tells you that, buy every dip and things are always going to go up continuously. No, there have been some gnarly downturns in these markets. I'm sure you guys have heard of them in the past. It is not uncommon for these assets to drop upwards of 90, even 95% from their highs. So you need to be prepared for this stuff. So with that being said, let's actually jump into some examples of meme coins that have gone down, 60+% and just check out some of their charts and see how they have recovered, or if they are still down, and just talk about some of these things that goes on with some of the meme coins. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of my previous positions and just talk through them and just break all of them down. Okay, so these are all of my buys and sells on the token ALR, which we have been talking about for the past 5 to 7 days. And essentially when we first, discovered this token, we originally bought in around the 2.5 million range. And as you can see, there wasn't a lot of activity the first few days of this actual token. I was buying it and I was basically holding it and selling it on little peaks. The first real area I was taking some profit was around 5.6 million. But as you can see, there wasn't a lot of activity the first about 5 days of this token. And then as you can see, things really started to pick up, and that is when my selling started to pick up as well. So I started taking aggressive profits here in the 7 to 9 mil range. And then as you can see, I haven't done a lot of buying since that original peak, but now, since the token is back down to my original entry price of around 3 million, I have started to aggressively accumulate again. And the reason I'm starting to buy again is because I personally like to start buying 60% dips, and then I start dollar cost averaging down after 60%. So I made my initial round of buying here in it's actually 2.5 million. I saw this yesterday, and I started buying it around 2.5, but I have been building a pretty sizable position down here. And if this continues to drop, I will continue adding on to it. And one of the reasons I'm continuously buying it is because nothing has really changed on this token. The dev is committed. They are consistently putting out new updates and updating the community on the project and what they're doing on a daily basis. And they also just released this beta test video, which in my opinion is very impressive. So I feel comfortable buying at my initial entry price because, again, my thesis on the token really hasn't changed much. The only reason why I was selling up in this area is because we 3 to 5x the token, and we, are naturally going to be taking profits in that range. And again, guys, like I said, it is very common for these tokens to have 60 to 80, even 90% dips. This happens with plenty of tokens, and we're going to actually check out a few examples right now that'll back that up. But this is why it's so important to keep a percentage of your portfolio liquid in Solana, because again, you can take aggressive profits on these tokens at the peaks and then wait simply 48 hours and get incredible entries on them again. So it's always important to have dry powder, as I like to call it, to continuously add on or start buying positions that you've previously sold, because again, these dips are extremely common and they happen a lot more than people think. And this is why it's also important to aggressively take profit when you are presented the opportunity to. A lot of you guys, I think, are married to your bags, which means that, you think that the longer you hold them, the better your chance of them, going parabolic is. But in reality, there are always opportunities for you to make quick X's, and you really need to capitalize them and be prepared for further dips in the future. But with that being said, it's also extremely important to note that patience is quite literally the key to success in meme coins. So if you aren't going to be in the mindset of okay, I can take these 50% dips, or obviously they can go up to 90% like I've been saying, but if you aren't prepared for those instances, then you're really not going to have a fun time trading meme coins. So I guess the TLDR of this section of the video is, don't be scared of taking profits. Nobody has ever gone broke taking profits, and it is extremely important to aggressively take them when you are up a lot of money, in my opinion. But with that being said, patience is absolutely key to everything in this game. And if you aren't willing to take some, bad days, then you aren't going to see the good ones. And I can tell that the sentiment right now from a lot of you guys is that, things are going to be over soon and this is like the end of the world. But to be honest, you guys haven't even really seen that bad of a dip yet. And everything follows Bitcoin in general. So whenever Bitcoin dips, expect altcoins to dip, and especially expect meme coins to dip, because people are more likely to sell their risky assets when their bigger assets are taking heavy dips. Okay, but now let's actually look at some previous projects and some bigger projects in the space that have, survived some really big dips, and let's just look at what they're doing now. Okay, so if you've been following me for a little while, you know that I've talked about this token a lot in the past, and I just want to pull this example up to show you guys that just recently This token survived a massive dip and obviously now has reached new all-time highs and is honestly pretty stagnant around the initial peak. So as you can see here, this token ran from 0 to basically 160 million without many major dips. As you can see, there were some pretty big ones here, but once they got to 160 million, there was a nasty dip that took place for about 10 plus, maybe 12 days. And it settled all the way down at a $30 million floor on this dip. And obviously since then, it has 5+ X. So as you can see down here, 30 million-ish floor, up here, 220 mil. So, you know, it is worth noting and it is worth mentioning that, you know, this goes case by case, and this token has a very committed development team. This token has a very legit community behind them, and they have incredible technology. But that is what we should be looking for on these tokens that are taking massive dips. We should be looking for the ones that are proven with good communities, good development teams, and obviously good technology helps a lot. But this brings me to our next example, which is SNI, which if you've been following me for a while, you know that we've got this at actually 700K. But as you can see, this token went absolutely parabolic with a all-time high of around 130 million. It is now kind of settling a floor around 60 mil. But again, this is only really like a 50% dip. So in reality, this could dip a little bit further before I personally would start buying it, just because you never really know how far these dips can go. And from my experience, I like to start bidding at around 60%. So it's getting pretty close to that range, but I'm going to keep an eye on this one because again, this kind of fits the criteria that's similar to ALK, where they have a very solid development team, a very solid community. They're constantly shipping updates to this platform and the technology. And overall, this just seems like it is going to have a similar run up to ALK. Another example of one that I'm looking out at right now is Waveform. Similar situation, had a nice huge run up to 30 mil. It is currently on about a 50% dip. I'd like to see it settle a little bit further down at around 10 mil, and I would bid this one in a heartbeat. And so that's my general rule of thumb with the AI plays that we have been focusing on for the past 3-ish weeks. But the same story can be said about actually traditional meme coins as well. Like for example, there have been multiple situations where some of these original meme coins have had literally 80% plus dips, and they have recovered sharply and made new all-time highs. And they're starting to be on these, you know, 60, 70, 80% dips again. And again, I've mentioned this in other videos, but once one of these traditional meme coins starts heating up again, I have a feeling that the rest of the traditional meme coin market will start to pick up as well. So I'm keeping an eye on some of these older tokens, some of these ones that have stuck around for over a year. And, you know, I'm looking to bid these 70, 80% dips on these older meme coins as well. I don't think that, you know, these are just going to fizzle out. So guys, some of the takeaways from this video should be that A, you should be expecting 60 to 80% dips on meme coins. Unfortunately, that is just the name of the game, and you really should be preparing yourself for a lot of risk when you are entering these markets. So like I said at the start of the video, you should always be keeping a portion of your portfolio liquid in Solana in case there are some massive drawdowns. And also, don't be afraid to swap your Solana to stablecoins if you are fearful at any point in the market, because that is a good way, again, for you to quote unquote lock in some profits and then buy at a lower position. Everything follows Bitcoin, so always be attentive as to what's going on with the major cryptocurrencies, because they usually dictate a lot of the riskier assets that fall underneath them. Do not be afraid of taking profits. I know that it's really easy to convince yourself that things are always going to continuously going up, but the reality of it is that these are the most volatile markets on the earth, and you can never be too careful. So always lock in profits when you get the chance. Always keep dollar cost averaging in the back of your mind when you are entering new positions. It is the best way to manage your risk and consistently hunt for the best prices. And guys, the most important takeaway is that the dips that you should be buying are on proven tokens with proven teams that have been around for a period of time and are actively updating their communities. You do not want to be in positions where you are clueless as to what's going on. So the biggest takeaway from this is always do your research before entering any position, and constantly update your thesis on each position you enter, because things change literally in a matter of hours in this space. And so if any of you guys are wondering, yes, I am going to be adding to some of these positions if they start falling into my buy ranges. And again, I've already kind of outlined the criteria for that, but if it is a proven team with good technology and they are actively updating their communities, I am looking to start dollar cost averaging around 60% and continuously adding on to my bags until I am happy with the price and the position. And the last thing I'll say is, just as easy as it can be to make money in this space, it is just as easy to lose it. So guys, I really recommend on any of the positions you're entering, if you are 2xing your money, don't be afraid to take your initial investment off the table, because psychologically it is so much easier holding a bag that you have no risk on than it is to, obviously be underwater on something where the money means a lot to you and XYZ other reasons. So always keep that in mind, especially on these newer launches. Like a 2x is so hard to get in other markets, but in meme coins, it's honestly taken for granted. So just keep that in mind and always be aware of your risk. And generally speaking, I would try to stay off of the new launches for the next 24 to 48 hours, because you guys probably already know this if you've been watching some of my other videos, but volume on the weekend usually drastically slows down. So just expect this weekend to be pretty gnarly for your meme coin bags. So guys, that is going to wrap up the video for today. I will see you guys in the Discord or Telegram if you wanted to see what I'm actively doing the next few days during this turmoil in the market. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you all for almost 1,400 subscribers. I will see you guys in the video for tomorrow, and thanks for watching.